Chicks on your APs, looking like weeds. Haven't seen.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to 1 a.m. I'm Rashad Milligan, and I'm joined here today by Jelani and RB Mo. Fellas, how are y'all doing?
It's a beautiful day.
It is. Beautiful day, beautiful night, blessed and highly favored, you're feeling good.
A futuristic day, one might say.
Yes, sir. This futuristic summer album that got me, feeling like, I had to take it back on them today, man. I know we talked about it last week, but, it's just been listening to the album more and more. It's just, you got my fashion just rolling back in time. You feel me?
My homegirl, I had a homegirl go to the listening party in Atlanta, and so she went, but she was like, "Why is everybody dressed like this?" And she was dressed as like futuristic, like she was dressed like as someone on Xenon, like the Disney Channel movie and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. And I was like, and she was like, well, I'm not from Georgia. I was like, you were literally in Georgia in high school at the time of the futuristic era. I was like, she's like, well, I didn't dress like that. And I was like, yes, you did. And I was like, Aeropostale, American Eagle, Hollister. She's like, okay, I did wear American Eagle and Hollister. It's like, exactly. That was it. That's all you had to. And yeah, so it was a whole back and forth we had. But the line was so crazy and it looked unorganized. So she ended up just leaving because she had work in the morning because, the listening party was on a Thursday. The good part about that is it ended up not even happening because people wouldn't get off the stage. So Metro left. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very, very Atlanta-ish to have an event shut down because people wouldn't get off stage.
Facts.
But yeah, man. What else has been going on with y'all?
Man, I heard today that a couple people say I sound like Tyler the Creator.
No, you don't sound like
you do, and I didn't notice it till you just said it just now.
Yes,
you don't sound like Tyler.
When you just said his name, you sounded like him.
Yeah, I guess I've never felt that way and noticed that, but yeah, a girl randomly at work today was just like who you sound like? You sound just like Tyler the Creator. And I was like, what? And then somebody else said it. And then I guess now Jelani, agrees. I guess, Rashad ain't feeling it.
No, I swear I just heard it. I never thought that once in life until you said it just now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I used to, growing up back in high school, people used to always say I used to look like Earl, bro.
You don't look like Earl, bro.
Yeah.
You know who looks like Earl. We all know who look like Earl.
I was about to say, shout out to the homie Ephraim. That was the first person. He doesn't look like Earl anymore at all. But like I remember in high school, even before I knew him, I remember like being at lunch and somebody saying that to him like, when we was at the tables or whatever. A quick segue. I don't really like. I'm not one of these guys that like is 30 and misses their high school era. But I will say, I do just miss the idea that we would just like roast each other like constantly all day. Like, because that's not really a thing as an adult. Like, you're not really making fun of your coworkers or anything like that.
Well, I actually seen a video of Caribou. She was on DDG stream, right? And she was in the car, and DDG was on the phone with his cousin and another one of his friends, Jay Cinco. And so Caribou tried to jump in the call and say something, and they got, man, it took me back to them days, boy. It took me back to them days. But let me play like 5 seconds of this just to hear.
That's why I keep showing up, because I know I'm never going to get the answer to that question.
Zach Lowe speaking the whole 5 seconds, of course. Let me see if I can skip to 5 seconds.
It's true, though, right?
That was sweet.
I just kind of want...
Why is Zach Lowe speaking most of this dang interview? Hold on, man.
So we were still figuring out and still living a normal life and stuff. I don't know. Different.
Mo don't sound like that.
His voice does sound a little bit similar to that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, maybe it's just me. I don't know. But like I said, if he never pointed that out, I would have never thought that. I literally just put two and two together when he said that.
What you thinking, Mo, after listening to that?
Sure.
I mean, from listening to myself at times, I don't think I've ever thought I sounded like that. I'll have to really listen back. I'll probably listen to the pod later and then listen to like Tyler talking and do some analysis, see where it's at. But yeah, I don't know. I never thought about it. But yeah, a couple people said it to me today. I was like, that's crazy. You know, I never thought about that.
But our voices never, like, even me, like, our voices never really sound out loud to other people the way we think it does in our head. You know what I mean?
Facts. No,
that's kind of crazy. I promise you, if you never said that, I would have never thought that before.
Right. As I was saying that they used to say I look like Earl, bro. The craziest compliment I ever got from a girl, bro. She said, she was like, yeah, you look like a cute Earl.
All right.
Yeah. And I was like, you know, let's be real. Earl is like notoriously ugly.
Chill.
You know, pause.
Chill.
You know.
But is that anti-African?
No. Like, it's not because he's African, it's just because he's Earl, bro. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, but you know, especially I'll say, like, I mean, I guess now he looks like, I wouldn't say people put that moniker on him, but the old Earl back in the day, you know, he always had like the bags under his eyes and stuff like that. You know, that's why, like, when the girl said she had to specify, she's like, yeah, you like a cute Earl. And I was like, a cute Earl is crazy.
Around what time frame are we talking? Like, what year is this around? If you can remember.
Like 2012, 2013.
Okay, so that era, that would be kind of like that's low key like a backhanded compliment, but
yeah,
I'm listen, I'm not like trying to, you know, this is a weird topic just because I can't judge, like, you know, Earl's cuteness factor or whatever. He does seem to be like a healthier guy now than he was when he was younger. So, yeah, that's a fascinating compliment, though.
Yeah. I was like, you slick, keep that one.
Earl been smiling and stuff.
Boy, you got one. You bigger than Earl, nigga. Discombobulated ass. Big biz. You wear different brands on each shoe. Left, then you have pins on big ass shoes. Left Jordans one. What the fuck up? What? Hey, like this, shut the fuck up, boy. No, hell no, y'all. No. You a freaky ass bum, nigga. Tuesdays at 7:01. No, you weird. What you talking about? You just made a 3-minute voice memo longer than to your cousin. Your ass listen to Justin Timberlake. Fuck was you talking about? I ate a celery sandwich. I never even heard of it.
The best part of the whole video was you look like you listen to Justin Timberlake. Those are the type of roasts that I miss, like, on a daily basis of what Jelani was saying, bro.
Yeah, it would be like the real rant. Like, anybody can call somebody ugly, but it's certain jokes that, like, it's almost like abstract humor, you know what I mean? Like, it's telling somebody they look like they listen. Like, what does somebody look like that listens to Justin Timberlake? Like, a lot of people listen to Justin Timberlake. You know what I mean?
That's like throwing out something random. Like, you look like you still play the original PlayStation. It's like, what? Like,
you know what? It's a little bit home because I definitely still have my first PlayStation, like, till like maybe like 2010, 2011. I still was like going to the game store seeing if they had old PS1 games.
Right. Man, I remember when that play, bro. What's your favorite game system of all time?
I'm probably go PS2.
I say the PS2 is probably by far the most popular, and that would definitely like a classic. I think for me though, like on nostalgia, bro, the Dreamcast. I used to go crazy on my Dreamcast, bro.
My uncles had a Dreamcast. That's like one of the first. They had a Dreamcast and a Nintendo 64. But I remember they had the Ready to Rumble game on there, and they had the Sonic game that came with it or whatever. Yeah, the Dreamcast was like ahead of its time for sure.
Right. That Sonic game was my game, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was crazy, especially for like the time, because that game came out like 1999, but the graphics were crazy. By the way, just like a quick like piece of like production while we on the podcast. Can y'all hear my fan in the background?
Nah.
All right, for sure. All right, but yeah, to answer your question, my favorite game system, we got a Xbox Christmas 2004, and that was like one of my favorite Christmas presents. So I would just say that one. But you know like the whole Red Ring of Death thing with the Xboxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ended up happening to me. So that was maybe like 2 years later after it came out. That was a tragic day.
Bruh, I remember I think my original Xbox got the Red Ring of Death. And then my 360, I feel like my 360 did get the Red Ring of Death, and I think I had to get a new one. But I know definitely my original Xbox did. I was sick, man. Yo, growing up, my parents gave me mad. Like I used to be big into video games. Like I had a GameCube, a PlayStation, and an Xbox all at the same time.
Bro,
And
the key is your parents got a divorce, bro. That's the key, bro. Like
What?
it's like
oh,
it's
cap.
like the trade-off is the trauma. But it's like because I remember one time, you know, like Jelani said, he said 2004 Christmas. I think it might have been '04 or '05 for me Christmas. Because I got the Ben Wallace joint NBA 2K5 on it. So it could have been '04, it could have been '05. It was probably '04 Christmas. So, anyways, I'm opening up the gifts and I get to video games. And then, you know, it's like 2K5, Madden 2005, Ray Lewis. Shout out to Ray Lewis. And I'm looking I'm like, yo. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, like, bruh, old people be messing up, bro. This Xbox, I got a PS2 at my mom's house. He said, wait, hold on. But that's a Xbox. I said, yeah, it does. And he said, look behind that tree. Boy, I opened it up. I had an Xbox.
Right.
I was going crazy, man. So I had the PS2 at my mom's house and the Xbox at my dad's house, man. You know, so for sure, divorce is the key. If you want your children to have a spoiled childhood with a lot of toys.
But go ahead, bro.
Oh no, I was gonna say like, I got lucky because what happened with us was like, okay, parents also separated when I was young, but we had the Xbox at my mom's house, and then my neighbor across the street was this white kid named Robert. He had the 360, and then there was these black kids up the street that was like my black friends. Yeah, so I had my white homeboy across the street, and then my black homeboys up the street, and they had the PS2. And then we had the PlayStation 1 at my dad's house. So it was like, I kind of lucked out just depending on whose house I was at. We basically had like almost every game system just in our neighborhood or whatever, except for the GameCube. I never had that one. But it was fire when I got to play it.
No, facts. You know, it's interesting. I've always said that for years growing up, like as a kid, because, you know, I remember my parents arguing. So when they got divorced, you know, initially, you know, being told it, you know, of course, it's like sad, like, you know, like my parents are splitting up, whatever. But then, as you said, like when Christmas come around, you got 2 Christmases, you know, you getting double the birthday gifts. It's like, and then they low key kind of competing with each other. It's like, you know, funny. I used to tell people this. I was like, you know, like, was it sad with divorce? I was like, nah, it was actually pretty lit. I was happy because, like, they used to argue, so they wasn't happy. So, you know, I'm like, I'm glad they separated because I don't, you know, want to see the arguing no more. And then now I'm getting mad gifts. I'm like, it's up. Like, divorce is lit. So, you know, but you know, it definitely. I don't, you know, I wouldn't say, you know, that for your kid to have a spoiled childhood, you know. I say for the kids, you know, for some kids, it's definitely a lot more traumatic. You know, for me and Rashad, we was able to look at the brighter side of it, you know. And it honestly, I think it depends at what point when your parent get divorced, and also it can ruin the image of, I guess the image of and the idea of love at times, to put it on a deeper note, where it's like initially you're like, man, like my parents supposed to be together forever, like that's mom and dad. But then, you get older and then some people that really hurts them, where it's just like, my parent got divorced. So now I can't believe in love, like if my parent got divorced, it's going to happen to me, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I ain't never really felt that way. I was just more like, hey, like, shoot, it's life, you got to roll with the punches.
Yeah, I'm not really old enough to remember mine ever living together. But I mean, they made sure to like always be cordial towards each other. And to this day, like growing up, or at least in public or in front of me and my little brother, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like super like, I remember being sad about it like once when I was a kid, but like it wasn't like something that really bothered me for the most part growing up at all.
Yeah, for me, it was I don't remember my parents ever being together like my entire life. So that's like just something I just never knew. And then I say if anything, the only time that it really affected me as a kid was like games, sports. You know what I'm saying? Like sports or like something with band if I had a concert or something like that. Like my dad would rarely be there because, he's in Atlanta and all my stuff is in Marietta. So he would go to like one game a year. He always make it a point to show up to at least one game a year. And then he would probably show up to like, I think he showed up to a couple concerts before. But it was just a lot more that he missed, you know what I'm saying? And if my mom's busy working, late at night or something like that, then she might miss or she might just come at the end or when it's over to pick me up and take me home. And so it's like, I really, what I'm saying, dolo, what I'm saying, by my own and everything like that. Latchkey kid, all of that stuff. So I don't think that was sad, but it was like I just spent a lot of time, what I'm saying, kind of like in solitude for growing up. And I think that was kind of like a product of the divorce. And then when watching kind of TV like Disney Channel and everything like that, the two-parent household, it felt like that was the way it was supposed to be, and it wasn't that for me. So it was just like I had a hard time trying to understand or relate to it. So like the closest thing I had to it was my dad and my stepmom, and then but I can only get that like 2 days at a time. You know what I'm saying, on the weekend. So it was weird. It's a weird thing. But like you said, for the most part, I wasn't sad about it because it was all I knew, like Jelani said as well. But it is just a lot of weird stuff going on with it. And so I think for that sake, I wouldn't want to put my child through that if I could help it. But like most said, stuff does happen.
Yeah. And as I said, for me, since I do have like my parents divorced they separated when I was 7. And then, of course, divorce takes some time, but I remember them separating when I was like 7. So I remember them being together for a couple years. But as I said, like, I remember them fighting at times. And it being me just thinking once they got divorced as time went on, I was like, well, I feel they're just probably happier now that they're not together, So for me, that's how I always kind of looked at it, where, it's like, hey, I'm glad y'all made this decision for y'all, don't stay in a relationship, just for my sake, because that's what happens a lot of times where, people stay in relationships for their child and, they don't really be happy. And then they just wait till the kid goes and gets, and I don't know which is worse, honestly. And I would love to talk to somebody about this one day, I guess, because I think, for us being young and having that divorce is one thing. But then when you have this image of a marriage for years, and then then you turn like 18, 19, and then your parents all of a sudden they split up, and then it's just like, what? Like I thought y'all were gonna be forever. I thought this is what it's supposed to look like, and this, that, and the other. It all feels like a facade. And I say, some people really, it's trauma onto them where it takes away their belief in love, So I don't know. It's interesting, So
my bad, Mo.
you good. I was just gonna say I would love to speak to somebody about that. Like that went through a divorce in their latter, as they got older, as opposed to it being younger.
My little sisters have been in that predicament because my dad and stepmom got divorced in 2020. So at that point, my middle sister, my older little sister, she was like 20 at the time, and then my baby sister, she was like 15 at the time. So I asked both of them kind of constantly, like, how y'all feel. And the older one was like, well, they argued all the time. So, it was kind of just like they were kind of ready for it to be over in a way. And my baby sister, she's slightly autistic and stuff. So she's just like, every time I tried to kind of pry it out of her, she wouldn't really, kind of give me too much on how, like, I guess she truly feels. She just be like, I mean, it is what it is, like that's how she always saying. And but yeah, she would bring it up every now and again, but yeah, that was kind of it. So I never kind of quite understood how someone else would feel in that situation. I think that's something that we should do some digging into. But I know in terms of my sisters, my immediate situation, it's something we talked about before, but I don't know. I felt like I was the only one kind of blindsided. Everybody else kind of like knew in the family, but I'm in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? So like when I heard it, I'm like, what is what's going on? And I didn't even find out what happened until like earlier this year. You know what I'm saying? At 30. So it was just, for me, I felt like it hit me hard, but it should have hit my baby sister the hardest because she was starting high school when it happened. You know what I mean? So.
You feel me? For the listeners, what I mean, you see, we getting real vulnerable for y'all. This is real. Real single parent, real divorce dialogue going on right here. With Versatile, we started off, started off talking about video games, and now we're talking about our childhood, and only on the 1 a.m. podcast. But no, I definitely. It's not a topic that I really talk about that often.
Yeah, go ahead, Jelani.
What was you gonna say?
Oh, I had a whole nother thing because I had a rant to go on.
Oh, get your rant. Do your thing.
Like I said, so I just came back from Cleveland for the National Association of Black Journalists Conference annual. It's my 9th one. I thought it was my 8th one, but it was actually my 9th one. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. So it's my 9th one. Next year will be my 10th one. Back home in Atlanta. First time it'll be in Atlanta. And it was smooth. It was cool as always. I got to drive down to Akron. I rented out a car for $70 and drove down to Akron, 50 minutes away, and came back up by the end of the night and stuff like that, turned it in. And LeBron James Museum, amazing. Simply sensational American story that he came from this random small town in the middle of Ohio with like no people and no resources. I don't know how he became LeBron James in that environment. I guess it was just destined to be. When it's meant to be, it's meant to be. However, it was real cool. Melissa Ford, mad cool. Got my respect. She was there. I was surprised she was there. I met her. I talked to her for 5 minutes. Shout out to Mel 4, bro. Shout out M4. Shout out to the JBP. Shouts out to Rory Mal, though. And everything was cool. Phil Lewis, my dog. First take was smooth, even though I don't really, like the show too much. Everybody on the show was cool. But it's a few people. There's a few people every single year. And the reason why I stay to myself, The reason why I keep the same 7, 8 people around me on this podcast, we talk about it all the time. We go back to dang 2012, 2011. With Mo, I go back with Mo 2006, 2005, 20 years. The reason why I stay to myself and it's, oh, Rashad, why don't you? Oh, Rashad, yeah, man, Rashad, I didn't even know you was here. The reason why you don't know and the reason why you never see me is because y'all's fake in the industry. A lot of y'all is fake in the industry. Y'all got weird ulterior motives. Y'all don't speak to folks. Y'all don't have basic common decency, which is crazy because we work in a profession where you have to communicate with others. So the fact that you don't even have basic manners is insane. You don't say hey to people when you see them. You act like you don't know people. Then when they come and talk to you and stuff like that and they say this and introduce, oh, I already know you. Well, why is you acting? Man, stop the games, bro. Stop trying to lowbrow people. Stop projecting your insecurities upon others because you see what others is doing. If I come up to you and I say, yo, I like what you do. Your work is dope, this and that, don't take that as I'm some glazing creep or something like that. Like, especially when I show you my work and show you where I've been at and stuff like that. Like, because then you try to down talk me. Yeah, keep going because you can get that one. Hold on. That's how I got to the Super Bowl, this and that. Ma'am, did you not know I've done the last 5 Super Bowl? What is we talking about? If you work hard enough, you can get to the Super Bowl one day. Well, if you work hard enough, maybe you can get to 5 Super Bowls in a row like me. How about that? Man, you know what? I got to start popping it because they don't know who they talking to. Just because I show you love don't mean I'm a fan. I'm just a fan, and I'm a fan looking up to you, and you could little bro me. I could be a fan of someone. I could like somebody's work and still have my own. You know why? Because I am sure of myself, and I'm not scared to give somebody else say props. I'm saying this because it was a particular figure that's at CBS Sports right now that has, popping on social media, had a couple other stops digitally, and now about to have a show on BET with Cam Newton. All right. So I'm giving them their props, everything like that. They said, cool, bet. Conversation go well, 5-10 minutes, boom, boom, boom. Take a picture. All right, cool, we good. All right. I go around the convention. I keep walking. We run into each other. I say, what's up? How you doing? I just wave. Hey. They wave back at me kind of like, I'm like, that was weird. Okay. All right. I'll move on. Next day come. I'm in Akron the whole day, so I'm away from the convention. I come back at night. I come back to the party and stuff like that. I find my people. Well, I don't find my people. I walk with my people to the party. It's a bunch of us. It's like people from 11 to Live, Atlanta News First. Shout out to the whole Atlanta crew. Everybody from Atlanta pretty much in this whole corner. So we in the corner, whatever. We dance. We dancing all night. Whatever the case might be. I see folks walk into the corner. So I'm saying what's up to everybody I know. What's up? No problems. This person sees me, looks, goes, turns around, immediately walks on, and I never see him for the rest of the night. I'm so tired of you fake media people and you personalities that think y'all better than what you actually are because you have 100,000 followers on Instagram. You know who else has 100,000 followers on Instagram? Shamar. You better clock that T. You think I care about what Shamar, man? Come on, bro. Just because you got 100,000 followers don't mean nothing, bro. I promise you, bro. What is we talking about right now? So it's like, I have a public service announcement. This is what I came to the conclusion of. If you think you better than me, and it wasn't just this person at CBS Sports, it was people, producers from ESPN who added me on sent friend requests to me on Facebook years ago. It's people who sent me messages a year ago. Oh, I like your work. I'm a fan. I look up to you. Can I get some direction? Can I get some help? That they want to now big time or act like they don't know you now in person. It's about 2 or 3 of them. It won't just old girl over there at CBS. So if you think you are too good for me, I just want you to know that you are right. Please keep that stank energy away from me. I don't want a part of it. I don't want no pieces of it. I don't want to kick it. I don't want to skate with you. Stay away from me with all that fakeness right now. I don't want nothing but real around me. That's why you see the same 2 people. That's why you see Jelani and Mo on this podcast. I don't want nothing fake. That was my rant.
Nah, I feel you, bro. You know, that goes into, like when we were talking on my birthday this year, and we was talking about how, we've had so many of the same people that we've been friends with for so long, and still in our circle. And I think it's come from a discernment to be able to tell, like, all right, certain people be, like, we only like to associate with people that got genuine energy. And so I get it, especially in like the entertainment field, it's a lot of people with a lot of fake energy, a lot of people that get big headed because, they get into certain I guess certain positions, essentially, certain positions at certain networks or whatnot. I could definitely see they start to feel like, oh, I'm this, that, and the other. But so I feel you on that, man. Hey, people gonna feel how they feel, and then when the tables, not even like you down on them, but it's just like realistically, as you continue to rise, people are they're gonna be like, oh, they're gonna try and come back around, but so it just is what it is, man.
I just did the math on who you're talking about. Yeah, no, I could understand why that would. I mean, regardless of who it was, like just on principle, that would bother you. But like, I can see why that would annoy you for sure. It the same way. I'd feel the same exact way. Like but it don't matter who it is. It's just off the principle. Like, I don't know. People are weird. I think people are also like less, because so many people that we interact with a lot of times is just on social media. I think people, it's like an awkward when they see people that they might have interacted with in real life. Like they like when they see these people in real life, I think people don't know like exactly how like close they should communicate, or like, should we speak? Are we friends? Are we really cool? Like, I don't know. It's like a weird, because I've had the same thing happen to me where I'll meet somebody that I know, or like some years back, I had somebody that I was friends with on social media that I had never met in real life. They were like my Uber Eats driver or whatever, and they opened the door, and it was like, I just kind of didn't even acknowledge the fact that we follow each other on social media. I just took the food and just, because it's like, what are we gonna say? Like, I follow you, we follow each other. Like, if we don't recognize each other just off the strength, then like it's cool. Just go about our day. It's it's not a big deal. And I feel like we just, in this era now, it's a mix of that and people just be like you said, like the ego thing. Like, people go to these events. Everybody wants to be a celebrity. Like, imagine. I saw Bomani Jones talk about this like before on a podcast where he was like, the concept of having like 300 followers on social media, that didn't used to be a thing in real life, where like you had 300 people listening to you, where you had 300 people, even if all 300 don't care about you, just that concept. So imagine having 100,000 followers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, even if you're not a real celebrity, you're going to feel like a celebrity. So it's just a weird time that we living in with the social media.
And the craziest part is Taylor Rooks, one of the nicest people you'll meet. Who else? Melissa Ford, one of the nicest people I've ever met. Some of the biggest people. Bomani cool. Bomani's cool. It's a lot of people I could go down the list that is just cool people. So it's like, dang, if someone's so cool, Cam Newton cool.
Cam's super cool.
Dwight Howard's cool. Who else is cool? It's a bunch of people. Long story less long.
I was gonna say,
go ahead, Mo.
It reminds me, when I was working at Nobu, that was one of the things that I realized, and I think that being cool and being that personable person is one thing that does allow you to continue to grow within your field. And people don't really understand that, because most of the biggest stars that I ever met, like Denzel, Jamie Foxx, Chris Rock, like Cam Newton, people like that, those big stars, super down to earth, super just personable, they're friendly, but then you meet like a housewife, or or meet like a YouTuber or a streamer, or like people who are just some type of IG socialite, and they just be doing so much and be acting like they just this, that, and the other. And I'm like, fam, I was just talking to Denzel, bro. Like in my mind, like you're calm all that down, So it's interesting because and I do agree it'd be the people that haven't really like you at a good level, but you're not there. You feel me? And then you meet the people who really are there, and it's like they super cool, and you like come on now, bring yourself back down to earth, with the rest of them.
That's 100% what I'm saying, Mo. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yo, there's one person though, like it's funny, just random when you just talking about like, you interacting with people and then like you just kind of building connection with people in a sense. I think back there was this one actress that was one of my regulars. She used to always come in, like I had showed her like a few different things on the menu and stuff like that. So she started rocking with me. So she'll always come in, request me and stuff like that. So I remember one time she came in with like her mom, and I don't know what prompted me, but like she was sitting down and I was like, hey, and then I went in for a hug. And she gave me the hug, but then I could feel the hug was kind of like, all right, and it wasn't until like, it was like right after hug, I was just like, oh, bro, you just did too much, but as I said, she was still cool. She didn't make no thing about it. She still came and sat with me afterwards, but it was just funny because I just realized in that moment, I was like, oh, my boy, you got a little too comfortable in that one, bro. Like, reel it back.
But I think that's also a sign of, Jelani, before you go, I think that's also a sign of like you said, being genuine, being real good people, like making people feel so like comfortable that they feel like they know you to a point where it is comfortable enough for you to hug them and stuff like that. Go ahead, Jelani.
Right.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like that definitely could be awkward when you kind of like overestimate like how close, especially with like a woman, like when you really overestimate how close you might actually be, that definitely could make for an awkward situation.
Nah, facts, bro. Yeah, it was. Yeah, as I said, she was still like, I could just feel from the hug that it was kind of like, all right, I know we was here, but
yeah.
But yeah, the one girl who added me on Facebook years ago and was acting weird in person. The situation was they in a dance circle right on the dance floor. I know everybody in the dance circle. So I'm dapping up the dudes and I'm hugging the girls. I'm hugging the women. And so like she sees me and she turns around because I kind of like approached the circle from behind her. And I'm dapping up everybody. And she turned around. She said, oh, hey. And as soon as she said that, she like dashed across like the other side of the venue. I'm just like, she was doing that like all week, like just not saying hey to me, like not, speaking to me. And I think in that situation, that's kind of crazy because it's like if there's any situation for a person that follows you on social media and y'all don't know each other in real life, that is the time to like have that conversation of just like, hey, I follow you on this. Da-da-da-da. Nice to meet you. Because I literally know every single other person in said circle.
Does she still follow you?
Let me check.
Crazy reveal on the pod.
I mean, I didn't mean that. This is the thing. He gave a bunch of details when he said when he was describing the person.
She's still friends with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh snap! I see someone.
But she doesn't. They don't do.
She doesn't.
What? Do they follow you? I said they're just Facebook friends. They don't follow you on Twitter.
Oh yeah. This was a Facebook, but she sent the friend request, and this ain't the girl from CBS Sports. This is a whole nother.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said it was 3 people that was acting weird. The CBS girl was a girl who saw me, did like this, and turned around and just walked, like dashed the other way. But then what made me feel better was afterwards, my homie, shout out my homie, I don't want to say his name or whatever, bring him into this publicly. But he told me that he saw her in like VIP or whatever, and he was like, "Hey, I really like your stuff," and then he said her response was just like, "Oh, thank you." Like it was very awkward, and he said maybe she's just socially awkward, and I was like, that could very well be something, but it's like how you socially awkward now, and we spoken on multiple occasions before this. Because thing, how we even got to speak to each other the day before or whatever, when we went back and forth for like 5-10 minutes, was I seen him walking outside. I was walking out of a panel and I seen him in the hallway. I said, "Yo, what's up?" They say, "Yo," and I said, "You remember me from Atlanta? Like I interviewed you a couple years ago at that event." And she was like, "Yeah, I remember." Da, 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 da. She said, "Well, what you about to get into now?" I said, "Man, I'm just chilling." She said, "Pull up on me at my job, da, 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 in a career fair." I said, "Okay, bet." So that's what I did. I pulled up on her and we talked for like 5-10 minutes. So it's like you invited me to talk to you, and we talked 5-10 minutes. That's about the third, fourth time we done interacted with each other. So now this fifth time you see me at the party, and you know what I'm saying, and now all of a sudden you're socially awkward. I'm thinking this is what I take from it. She saw me as someone who might have been obsessed with her, a creep, or something like that, and I made her feel uncomfortable. Me personally, I'm like, I was just showing you love. Like it won't like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was it.
No, I was just about to say because that she is. You said she's gone viral a few times, but she's a very beautiful woman. She goes viral a lot for. She don't be posting nothing crazy, but she'll just post like a selfie and it'll get like hundreds of retweets or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So she probably does have dudes who, especially in the sports industry, like there's definitely those guys that be yeah, like, can we network? But you know what they really mean when they talk about networking. Like, they're not really trying to do no business. So it might have been just from that standpoint. But it is awkward because y'all was just talking. So it ain't like you was just some random dude that, you know what I'm saying, just walked up on her.
And I ain't asked for her number before. So it's like, you know what would have happened if she kept walking that way? I would have said, hey, she would have waved back, and then she would have kept walking. And then the night would have, like, what are we, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't big of a deal. That's all it would have been. And she made it something 10 times. So you know what? You got an op for life. Congratulations. Malika Andrews, you no longer my op. We squashed it in Chicago last year. You now got a new op. Thank you. To the new girl. You now got a new op for life. Congratulations.
You know
I'm
who
never rooting for you, nothing. I'm rooting for everybody black except for you specifically. And Deion Sanders sometimes. And Deion still sometimes. It's just y'all two.
You know who my celebrity op for life, bro?
Who?
Michael Petras.
Michael.
Man, because bruh, I don't even know how old I was, bro. This was back when Dwight played for Orlando. I went to a Hawks game, right? So I'm like mad close to the bench for the Magic. So I'm close enough to where I can like yell something out and then the players can hear me. So I remember I asked Dwight, I was like, "Yo, Dwight, let me get an autograph or something." Like, mind you, I'm in not high school, but elementary school, somewhere around there. And so I was like, "Yeah, Dwight, I'm trying to get autograph." And I remember Dwight turned to me, he was like, "You want me to get up out of my seat right now and come over there and give you autograph?" I was like, "Okay, my bad. All right." But then Michael Petras, he was right there. And so I was like, "Yo, like, let me get an autograph." He's like, "All right, I got you as soon as the game over." I'm like, "Okay, bet." So this was probably some point in the second half at some point. And so probably like third quarter. So I'm waiting for a minute, bro. I'm just like, bro, I'm gonna get this autograph from Michael Petras, like I'm hyped for real, like I am really excited for it. And bruh, like, and I think Dwight ended up throwing me like a towel. So, so I got something, and so I'm thinking Michael Petras gonna be the one to sign it. So I'm like, it's up. Man, as soon as the game ended, bruh, this man got up and walked straight to the locker room. And then it wasn't even like one of those like, oh, I may have forgot. You could tell he remembered because he like ducked his head down and then just walked straight. And I was like, ain't no way. And so I rooted for his downfall for the rest of his career.
And it's crazy who had more longevity in the league.
Right. Exactly, bro. Yeah, I was so sick, bro. That really hurt me as a kid, bro. I was waiting, man. And then when he got up and walked, and I was just like I remember just looking at like, and because he like ducked his head, looked the other way. I was like, he really just did this, bro. Like it was no reason to even do that. It's like you could have just signed that one little autograph and kept moving. And in my mind, I was like, bro, you're not even that good of a player,
Bro,
you know.
Everybody came to see Dwight, bro.
Bruh.
They're like, if he was a real hoop like sicko, okay, maybe Hiru Turkoglu.
Right.
He was not coming to see Michael Peaches.
Bro, I don't even think he played that game, bro. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I'm almost positive that's why I was able to talk to him. He was on the bench the whole time. But
how much you think a Michael Peaches autograph is going for right now? How much you think that's worth?
you get a cool 20 ball off that.
You get a 2-piece from Popeyes for the Michael Peaches autograph.
Facts. It's that, bro. You get the 3 for $5 they offering now?
You might not even be able to get sides, just a chicken.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy. No, that's a wild celebrity op to have, Michael Peaches.
Richard Jefferson, he did the same thing to me when I was like 10.
Oh, for real?
At a Hawks game.
Well, he just walked past you?
I had, bro, he coming out at like halftime. So, you know, when they come back out at halftime, they walking back to the layup line. They walking as slow as they'll walk all night, looking cool and everything like that. I had a Richard Jefferson basketball card. And, you know, I had, you know how you get them little stacks of basketball cards and it just be a bunch of random role players? Like Richard Jefferson was one of them. And I never took him to the game to like get him signed. So it was just like, oh, the Nets are in town. I have this Richard Jefferson card. So, you know, so I have it in my pocket. I'm looking forward to this all day, bro. And he's walking slowly out the locker room for the second half. And I was just like, Richard. I get a pen or a marker from like an usher or like someone around us or something down by you know, like where Mo was talking about, that area type deal. Oh, Richard Jefferson walking the slowest ice. Third, fourth most paid attention to player on the team because you had Kenyon Martin, you had Vince Carter, and you had Jason Kidd. So you like the fourth most important person on the roster. He looks at me and goes, and keeps walking on the court as slow as ever.
All right, but to be fair though,
go ahead.
If it was after the game, I think it'd be way crazier. During the game, I could understand why like he might not be in autograph mode.
Going to the layup line is crazy though.
I get what you're saying. I don't know. Maybe he was locked in. Was they down and daft? Do you remember?
No, I can't remember. I mean, but he was like smiling and talking to a teammate, like strolling slowly back onto the court. It was like one of those things.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
But Shedeur did the same thing, like this past week. I don't know if you guys seen that video where before the game, a Carolina fan, they was like, Shedeur. And he was like, I can't sign autographs before the game. That's crazy. I'm locked in.
Yeah, no, it'd be like, I mean, bro, these athletes be crazy. Like they be thrown off. Not to say that Richard Jefferson was like that, but I remember hearing a story where Kobe Bryant said he said like before, I think it was like a finals game, he listened to the Halloween theme song, like from the movie. He said he listened to that on repeat in his headphones for like hours straight.
I always think about that Chris Rock clip in the finals where he like telling jokes to Kobe and the camera pans out to Kobe and he's not making a face.
But why was this is what I never understood about that. Why was Chris Rock trying to talk to this man with like, bro, it was like 30 seconds left in game 7. I don't think people realize that when they see that GIF, like it was literally game 7 of the finals. And Chris Rock is thinking that this man wants to have a conversation with him in the middle of the game. Like, what is wrong with you?
Facts. Yeah, that is not the time to do that.
Everybody, hey.
Imagine you running a marathon. You got like half a mile left, and like somebody runs on the track and tries to have a conversation. Like, bro, go away. Like, what are you doing right now?
Right.
I remember one kid, we had an open mic thing in Georgia State, and I had geology with them. And so like we had a test the next day. And I didn't know he did, spoken word and like, performing and stuff. So when he was up there, he was trying to get in his zone. He had his hat on. I said, oh snap, that's my boy from geology class. I said, hey, bro, you ready for the test tomorrow? And he wasn't acknowledging me. So I just kept yelling it out. Like, I'm looking for him to say, like, what up, boy, or something. So, I go up, because they like, anybody else want to perform? So I go up and I did a song or whatever. And when I went up there to perform the song, he said, hey, bro, you ready for the test, bro? Hey, bro, you ready for the test, bro? And I think he was trying to annoy me. But I was responding to him because I did not mind. It just took 2 seconds to acknowledge his existence. I don't know. This whole thing of like, I got to lock in and maybe I'm just, I'm so kind of all over the place with my attention that I can focus on this saying like, acknowledge just for 2 seconds and get back to what I was focusing on.
Nah, I think he might have been in the right in that situation. I ain't gonna lie to you. You kind of threw my man's whole vibe off. Like he was in his bag. He was finna, get into like his real like, most Def Talib quality poetry type vibe, and you bringing up the geology paper this Friday. This was at a you said it was at like a spoken word. Like was it like what was the vibe like?
It was at the auditorium, the school auditorium. So it was like at Georgia State in the student center. So it was like, I think I probably walked past the student center room and then it was like open mic 7 p.m. tonight. And I was like, oh snap. And I walked in and then like, I seen him in the crowd and it's like, next up we got so-and-so. And he went up there. I was like, oh snap, that's my boy from class. Like it was like that. Like, so I didn't even know what was going on. And then, like they were like, anybody else want to perform? And then I end up going up there and performing. And he tried to like return the favor, but I didn't care because it was just like a simple question.
But my bad, bro.
You asked him while he was on stage?
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was kind of in the right in this situation.
Like,
there's a lot of people in the crowd.
It was probably like, I don't think it was anybody who wasn't performing in the crowd. Like everybody in the crowd was also performing that night. And the people who worked at the student center.
Yeah, I don't know, Rashad. That one, if I'm on stage and like I'm performing, you ask me about my geology test, I'm gonna be like, bruh. I thought he was like in the seat, trying to lock in, and you asked him then.
He was on stage about to perform, yeah. But he did the same thing to me, and I didn't care because it was a simple question.
Right.
So
I mean, I know you didn't do it on purpose, though, but that's hilarious, though.
Nah, it was really like I was genuinely happy to see like one of my classmates on stage because I didn't know he did spoken word. So you know what I'm saying? So to me, it was like oh snap, you do this? He had a sun hat on and everything like that,
Right.
But this was around the time of Rory and Future wearing the sun hats, 2015.
That was a nasty era. That was a nasty when people was wearing the brunch hats just for like regular leisure.
I one time I was talking to Rory about it, and he randomly brought that up. He said, "I'm the reason Future started wearing sun hats." Like,
right.
Oh snap! I was like, oh snap.
For the people at home, we're not talking about the.
Like, no, keep that in there. I was like, oh snap! All right, bro.
Yeah, I just want to clarify for the people at home. We're not talking about the podcaster. We're talking about the artist Rory, who's the musician out of Atlanta.
Legend, Stone Mountain legend.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a wave for like a good maybe like year, 2 years. They were wearing the Future sun hat with the brunch boots.
Yeah, you gotta get the Chelsea boots and the fedora.
The Chelsea boots with with a cardigan.
Yes, sir. Nah. Jelani, you retweeted that thing of what someone say? They said I'm be dressing like most Def or dressing like the 2010, early 2010.
Oh yeah.
And the video, the dude walking out. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, them fits, that boy, he was dripped out. But it was hilarious because it's like the fits just scream like early 2010s Tumblr filters and stuff like that.
No, he definitely was. It's crazy because that's about to come back in style. Like, give it a few years because like fashion usually runs in like 20-year cycles.
Well, like baggy is like the thing in streetwear, and it has been for like the last 3 years.
People wearing jean shorts again. They back popping.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I remember. Yeah, my bad. I'm gonna cut you off.
Oh no. You good.
I remember. For those of you that don't know that listen, we started high school in the 2009-2010 school year. So you have to remember this is like peak like purple skinny jeans. You're a jerk, like that era of fashion. I remember I wore a pair of jean shorts to school, bro. Dog, flamed me, cooked me. But you gotta understand, I didn't know like that song came out like maybe during that summer or like maybe that May that you're a jerk. So I didn't really know like by the time we got back to school, the jean shorts was over. You had to be wearing skinny jeans. So I show up wearing the jean shorts. Yeah, they definitely let me know we're not doing those no more.
No, fact. I used to watch, bro, the Rangers, bro. I used to watch all their YouTube videos. I ain't gonna even lie, bro.
I did too.
Yeah, I was locked in on that, bro. I was part of a jerk crew, man. I ain't really dance, but I'm part of the crew. Because I had a few moves, So like, I did a little something. I showed the right people a little something, but I wasn't like in a battle.
See, we were both like chubby kids back then. So like it was a little bit more difficult for us to do them dance moves, like all them pin drops and all that. Like it didn't I wasn't built for that. My little brother was skinny, he could get that off.
Right. Yes, I could never hit the pin drop, bro. That was like the one move that I couldn't do. I used to have a YouTube video of me jerking, bro. I used to make mad YouTube videos. It's a lot of stuff I just deleted. I wish I would have just made them private, but because there are some that are private that I'm like, yeah, but yeah, I used to, that used to be the way, bro. It's like I used to wish I could do that.
You see how effortless you just did that, bro?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. I wish I could. That was not going for me, bro.
At all. Not for me either.
And they doing this right by the cars, bro, in traffic, bro.
This is that type of stuff gonna come. I'm telling you, like 2028, 2029, you gonna start seeing the kids wearing you remember they used to have the checkerboard skinnies?
Yeah.
Oh no, for sure. You already see it with the kids in the UK underground. Where,
I heard that.
Like the whole wired headphones and jerk music and jerk beats and stuff like that. And but I think the funniest thing to me about fashion is like it all starts with someone just saying, y'all still wearing so and so in insert year, like, and that's how like the new trend starts. You know what I'm saying? Because it used to be, oh man, everything you need to wear needs to be altered. It needs to be fitted, this and that. And then you just show up somewhere with something fitted and they like, oh no, you still wearing skinny pants in 2025? Like, that's how I'm like, dang, I didn't get the memo. Like, am I supposed to go to the national, fashion conference I don't know how this goes. I just show up with something and to someone saying, wow, nah, that's crazy. We ain't doing that no more. And I'm like, okay, I guess we ain't doing that no more.
But like I had, I've kind of transitioned. Like most of my clothes are like I definitely don't wear nothing skinny, and I like looser fitting clothes in general now. And I don't even think it's necessarily. I think it's part of the fashion, but then also I think it's just more comfortable. Like
it's
that's
100% more comfortable for sure.
Yeah, so like now I just rock with it. But I remember my ex, she was more of kind of, she like, like rock and, stuff like that. And so I remember one time she was just like, yeah, you should wear like, like skinnier jeans, blah, blah. And I was just like, baby girl, that ain't the fashion no more. What you talking about? Like, I was like, I'm finna throw these cargos on, and it was just like, yeah, my clothes will always be kind of baggy. And yeah, she was just like, yeah, like, I think more form fitting clothes would be cute on you. I was just like, yeah, nah, I can't go out like that. I'm like, that might be cool for, and, I think with, and probably now in the situation that she in now, the guy that she date probably would wear something like that. But I'm like, I'm more, I gotta stay up with the times, man.
Like you said, it's just more comfortable, bro. Because it's like I think in baggier clothes, you don't feel the pressure of like I can't sweat.
No, facts.
When you wearing fitted clothes, boy, and you sweat, oh man, it's over for you. The whole fitter wrap.
Then like, having, yeah, it's just, I think the skinny jean, the skinny jean era was definitely an era, but I like the looser clothing just in general, bro. Like I ain't finna go OD with it where, where the kids today, like the under 25 crowd, they got the super, super baggy. I don't think I'm gonna go that far, You keep it like a nice, honestly, I like more like straight leg jeans and stuff now, where it's like not like super like skinny, but it's just still like straight and, right there. But yeah, cause nowadays people be having like them crop top shirts and it's just crazy. I feel like this new generation, bro, like the 20 something and younger, bro, they also gay. And like, like
Okay.
No. You know what's crazy to me is like Playboy Cardi sagging, bro. Like, cause he be sagging OD. And it's crazy because Playboy Cardi, he set the trends. A few of the things I'm like, okay, that's not for me. I wouldn't do that. But I rock with it. I see the vision. That sagging and the way he does it is ridiculous, bro.
You remember the I don't know if that picture was photoshopped or not when he allegedly had the thong.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that was that fashion trend didn't really kids didn't really follow that one.
Yeah, that was my favorite fruit, bro.
The dong is crazy, bro. And then he dating the stem. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know that like it's like who doing the bending? Shout out to Janet Jackson. Um, I know Cardi really being in the streets and stuff like that. So I want no smoke, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying hypothetically speaking.
He gonna have a homicide gang come down to New Orleans.
R5, all them boys that
Well, no, rest in peace to R5. He's no longer. He passed away a few years ago, but
oh yes. Yeah. Rest in peace, R5. But and then what Left Eye on? Because I know Left Eye. Remember he you know what I'm saying.
Man, I don't be keeping up too much with the beefs. You know what I'm saying? It'd be too much going on, man. Like what's crazy? I'll be learning about like I've lived here my whole life, or like I say, I've either lived. I was born in Atlanta and I lived in Marietta, which is right outside of Atlanta, basically vast majority of my life. I'll be learning all the beefs that be going on from like Reddit and YouTube, bro. I do not be in the streets. I never was like, so I'll be finding out certain. Oh man, I ain't even know that it was going down like that. Like if the YouTubers be teaching me about my own city sometimes.
Nah. The craziest one for me was the YSL YFN one from Trap Lord Ross, and that was in the middle of where I went to church at. And I was like, bro, like, and like Lucci, his cousin was in my church, so it was like, you know what I'm saying, like this stuff was going on in the middle of a place that I was going to every single weekend, every Sunday, off of Cleveland, and so yeah, I don't know. I was just shocked that all of that was going on at the time.
me. With the YSL YFN beef, it was interesting. I didn't really is like, of course, I'm not like super tapped into the street, but I used to have a coworker that I worked with at UPS, and he was very tapped into all that stuff. And so back in 20, that'd have been about 20, I want to say 2018, 2017, 2018. Yeah, he used to tell me about all that stuff, about like them beefing and stuff. 'Cause I remember back when, that's why when Thug got indicted, it was the craziest part when I saw that he got arrested. I mean, that they tried to indict him for the murder of Big Nut, because that's one of the stuff that like he used to tell me about, like, because they vandalized Big Nut's gravestone.
Website, yeah. And
Yeah.
posted on Instagram.
Yeah, and like I remember when that happened, and like, you know, and that's where like I first found out about the YFN and YSL beef and everything, and I was just like, what, you know, like that's crazy. And so when they indicted him on that, I was like, bruh, of all the murders, I was like, if it was just some random person, have been like, oh, that's crazy, but then when it was him, I was like, oh, bruh, that's the one that everybody talk about. You know, they're like, oh, Thug, you know, did that one. So I was like, man, that's gonna be tough to beat, because they must got something serious on them. Because that's the one that everybody kind of know. Like, that's one of the ones. But you know, hey, shout out to Brian Still. You know, I'm too geek for the guys. That boy did his thing, man. Shoot, he 2 for 2 on the RICO cases. He need to go ahead and Dirk need to go ahead and pick him up, man.
No, for real. Yeah, that's crazy. I just thought about man, Dirk. I forgot that he was low-key, forgot he was locked up. He's been gone for like a few months now, I think.
It felt like it's been like a year, but on the side note, these boys going crazy on these videos.
I didn't even realize I was on the Rangers at first. I didn't even realize this was kids we went to high school with.
This Airwalk, man. Shout out Airwalk ENT. If you know, you know.
Yeah,
I went to I feel like every high school had their own individual like crew, because I went to Wheeler my freshman year. We definitely had one called Space Cadets, and they used to be having like Facebook beef with each other over like who could really claim it, who couldn't. It took the Jerk Crew serious back then.
When I said I was part of the Jerk Crew, I'm part of Airwalk.
You was part of Airwalk?
Yeah.
Shouts out to Mo, part of Airwalk as well.
Yeah, but I say it was like one of those like honorary members, you know. I remember, bro, it's so funny. I can't remember who it was, bro, because I had told somebody that I can jerk. And like I said, I was decent. I wasn't this good. I wasn't finna do none of this. But I remember I had told somebody I can jerk who was part of it. And then I think it was Ant. Ant came up to me and just like, yeah, so I heard you can jerk. You trying to join the crew? And I was bro, like no cap, bro. And I was just like, yeah, you know, blah blah. He's like, okay. And then like I showed him a couple movies, like, I bet, yeah, you be down. I was like, bet. But yeah, it wasn't like I was like I said, like an honorary. Like I wasn't really like tapped in like that. I wasn't finna be in none of the videos. I wasn't going to the meetings after school, you know.
Shout out Aunt Bailey, the legend, man, the dude right here on the screen. Shout out Dalen Gideon, one of the best rappers in the underground right now as well. He came from formerly of the Jerk community and things of that sort. So yeah, man. Shouts out to all the boys. Yeah, for sure. Let me see if I can find any more. But yeah. What else?
Man, yo, so I saw this video of this dude that had
Is that Nick?
Nick who?
Nick High?
I don't know. So slap boxing. So look, that type of slap boxing, bro, like a punch you're gonna get thrown, bro, because you're going too crazy.
Was that at Marietta Middle?
Yeah, that's Marietta, bro.
No, I never went to Marietta Middle.
It's this on the same page as the dude who uploaded the Airwalk video.
Yeah, I was looking at the video. I was like, that don't look at MHS, but I don't. I inside middle. I didn't know what it looked like on the inside or whatever.
Yeah, it looked like middle.
Dang, buddy in the uniform got pieced up.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, I was looking at the video of this guy who went on a date with the girl, and shout out my boy Taz. I can remember.
Exactly. I used to live right around the corner from where this Chevron is at. I know exactly where it's in East Cobb.
But I was watching a video of the guy who was on a date with the girl, and so they're on the date, and then the girl would just look like she was, I guess, you can't see her, she's recording it, and he's just like, yo, you gonna finish your drink? And then she was just like, I mean, eventually, had an attitude, and he just like, yo, like, what's up? Like, you having a good time? And she's like, I'm trying. And then so he was just like, all right, bet, say less. And so when the waiter came, he was just like, yeah, we're going 2 separate bills. She gonna pay for her, I'm gonna pay for mine, and then I'm gonna slide. And so it brings me to ask, if a date is going bad, would you still pay for the date? Or is it like, hey, you on your own now, shorty?
It depends on how bad we talking. Like, more times than I'll take care of it. But like, it really it's a lot of scenarios when you talk about going bad. Like if if your husband shows up, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a different level of going bad than we just had like a disagreement. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it just depends on what the level is. More times than not, I would say yes. But if it's something where like my life ends up in danger, or you say just something just insane, like I find out that you got like a MAGA hat in your purse or something like that. I don't know, like something like that. I might not.
Yeah. What about you, Rashad?
First of all, man, look at the lanes these kids was going to.
I was gonna say this freeze frame is hilarious,
bro, for real.
Look at the links these kids was going to make these videos. But I would say I agree with Jelani, man, because when you told that specific story, I was like, oh no, I wouldn't mind that, because at the end of the day, you just count your losses and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I invited you out, it didn't go the way I wanted. That's cool. I'm still paid because I invited you out. It is what it is. However, if it's something like it went bad because during the date you told me you had a boyfriend, or like, you got a husband, or excuse me, at the worst, said husband or boyfriend show up to the date and say, what is you doing here, Christine? If it becomes that, then yeah, like, nah, I ain't paying at that point, because it's like, I feel like if I pay, then the man gonna be even more mad at me, and then it's gonna put me in a predicament of not being safe. So
all right, let me put you in a scenario. Let's say, because what the example that I gave wasn't that crazy, but let's say hypothetically you on a date, the girl is showing no interest at all. She's on her phone the whole time. It's just, you trying to talk to her. She just giving you one word answer. It seems obvious she just here to get a free meal or something, and she has no interest in you. How do you feel then? Are you just still gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna just take the bill and then let's go at it, like, and let's say you drove her too, like you driving her back. It's just like, you just call an Uber back. Like, how you feeling?
Yeah, seeing a scenario like that, if it's like just blatantly disrespectful, where you just basically treating me like I'm just the food dude, then it's like, I don't know. I think maybe now I probably wouldn't do that. I've definitely had a scenario where I went out and she definitely was not into it. It wasn't like disrespectful, but at certain points she might have picked up her phone a few times, and I was like, all right, that's kind of crazy. But I just went in and paid because it was like, I'm not going to be petty. But now, I don't know. Now that you bring it up, I might, if I'm in that situation again, I might have to, I might have to switch it up on.
I say for me, it's probably the opposite of what Jelani said. I think back in the day, I would have been like, nah. Like, because I don't know. I was so in my head, and man, this man going crazy. I was so in my head and like paranoid. That's the word. Because it became a thing on social media of like when free food texts me greater than, and I was so scared of being saved as free food. So I remember this one girl, and she was probably a sweet girl or whatever, but she was like, yeah, what we doing next when we see each other? And I was like, how about the High Museum? And then I was like, how about Piedmont Park? And then we walk, and then she was like, I want to eat. And then I was like, okay. And I was like, am I gonna be free food? Is my name free food in her phone right now? Like all of this stuff was going on. So because I was so paranoid about it, if that actually happened on a date back then I would have been like, no, you ain't gonna have me save this free food. 2 bills. You know, I would have made a whole scene about it. Now I feel like I've matured enough to the point where I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'll just finish out the meal because it's like a job, right? When you quit, you know, you put in a 2 weeks notice. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna show up for these 2 weeks and then you won't see me again. So that's how I look at it. Like I'm gonna finish out the date, be professional about it, drop you off, have a good night, and then we'll never speak again.
Yeah, it's probably low key the best way to go about it, and just keep it moving. You know what I mean? Next time you already know, not even entertain it when they hit you up.
So I would definitely just cut the day short. It would be trying to clear lack of interest, regardless of whatever I had planned for the rest of the night. Yeah, it's done. I'm gonna be like, you know, let's say we was on appetizers. Hey, don't even bring out that you bring out the salad. Or, you know, don't even worry about it. Yeah, we're gonna slide. And she'd be like, what? Why? You know? It was funny. Crazy. I remember back when I was like 19, bro. We was at my boy KD house, bro. And so it was like me and the gang. And so I think it was KD had invited some girls over. So I don't remember who the girls were, like now in hindsight, you know, and so I've never seen them before prior to that day. But so they came through, and like Katie used to have the crib to himself all the time. So we used to be over there just kicking it all the time. So we invited the girls over, and so we just vibing and stuff, right? And then the girls just wasn't vibing. You know, I was like, yo, like, y'all trying to smoke? They'll just, you know, they wanted to smoke, of course. So we smoked a little bit, and then it was just like, all right, bet, you know. Then now we like kind of chilling, and then I was like, shoot, like y'all want to play some games or something? Like they just kind of just sitting on the couch, and just wasn't really talking to us. And then so I was just like, I got kind of fed up because I'm like, bro, like what y'all here for then? Like y'all not really talking to us. And y'all don't really like. I was like offer games. I'm like, y'all trying to do shots. Y'all trying to do something. You feel me, man? And so I just got kind of fed up. I was just like, yo, like, what y'all doing? Like, what y'all here for? And then the girl was just like, what? And I was so taken aback because it was just so blunt. Of it was like, yo, like, why are y'all even here? And one girl was just like, I mean, I'm just chilling watching TV. And I'm like, you ain't got a TV at the crib? Like. Yeah, yeah. And so, and the girl was like, I mean, I do, blah, 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 you know, so, but it turned them around though. They end up kind of being like, all right, you know, we acting, I guess it was just like we acting a certain type of way. And then they got interactive and, you know, it was a vibe, you know. But yeah, I just remember, yeah, in hindsight, I don't know if I would do that now. I don't know how we would react now but I think I don't know, because I'm like, what are you here for though? Genuinely, like if you're not trying to talk, it'd be different if you kind of standoffish or something, you know. But it was just like, we trying to talk with y'all. We trying like, let's play some games or something. I'm like, you literally just sitting here watching TV right now on the couch. Like, go home. Like, it's cool. But yeah, I remember I told a girl.
You muted. Okay. You went back in. You came back in. Say it again. You said you remember one time you told a girl.
Yeah, I told a girl.
Shoes fell off. He still went.
Right.
Grind never stops.
But yeah, like I told a girl that story one time, and she was like, "I hate niggas like you," and I was like, "What?" But I was like, and I was thinking in my mind, I was like, "I hate bitches like you." Oh, I'm sorry, I hate.
I mean, we over our end.
Yeah, but yeah, I was like, man, like women like you, bro, that should be annoying. It's just like, why are you here? Like for real, I just don't get it. It's like it's a waste of time. Cause I'm like, we could just be kicking. Me and the gang could be kicking it, you know. Like we don't need your presence if you're not trying to entertain. Like we're not entertain. That's the wrong way to put it. If you not even trying to converse, you know. But yeah, man, you know it'd be like that. But yeah, I remember that I did that like when I was like 19, and you know it was just kind of like. And I feel like now if I was on a date with a girl and I could tell you clearly just not having a good time or something, like I would probably be that one to be like, yo, like, are you having fun? Like, yo, you been on your phone the whole time. Like we could just slide. Like, you don't gotta be here. You know, like I don't know. I'm that type of person. I'll put the pressure on. Like what we doing?
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's like why we it can't be that serious as far as you needing a meal where we should waste both of our times. You know what I mean? I can understand for some, especially like the Instagram models. That's like their whole hustle is like using dudes for the vacation pictures, the going to the fancy restaurants, taking certain pictures at like the popping spots or whatever. And then I know it was like maybe like a month ago, we saw the story with what was his name, DeAndre Ayton, where he flew the girl out. You know what I mean? She took a bunch of pictures, all that, and then he wanted his return for investment, I guess, and she wasn't with it, and he left her stranded out there. You know, it's like I said, we were talking about earlier with the social media. It's just a wild time. Like, just think about that. Think about that being your hustle, basically. Like using that as like your image is just like, why would you get flown out to a random place with no way of getting back? Or I don't know. It's a wild time that we live in. I feel like I say that every episode, but it really is like a wild time we live in there right now.
No, for real. You know that brings me to. I saw a video of. All right, do y'all remember Taz's Angels?
Yeah, that was a wild era.
That was a crazy era. I used to follow them on. I was tapped in. I saw every story from about 2013 to 2015. I saw it wasn't a day I didn't miss. A day I missed, but I saw a video of Kat, who was like the head, you know, the bottom chick for Taz. And I was like, oh man, she's still out here, you know. And she was talking about how it was a video that's like you talking about something about like hyping.
Rest in peace, my brother. By the way, rest in peace, my brother. By the way,
I was like, is that
Omar? Yeah, rest in peace.
Dang,
wow.
R.I.P. man. But yeah, she had something about you talking about you a girl's girl, but you don't you're not sharing, you know, you're not sharing D. You know, and I was like, what? And I remember I saw the video, I was like, who is, I was like, this is who I think it is. And yeah, it was. And it just reminded me of that time, bro. That was a crazy head ass.
Got my boy Keela.
Hey, shout out my boy. But
it's crazy that we really been letting this run like the whole for like 30 minutes. Is like somebody who's never seen this before gonna be watching this so confused. Like, bro, why is these dudes watching jerk videos while talking? But it makes sense.
Facts. But yeah, but it was just crazy. It reminded me of that whole time and that whole era. And like her and AB are still going strong with Taz. It's just them two now. But it's crazy. They used to have so many girls in that house. And you know, it was just a wave, man. Everybody used to rock with them. And it tragically, you know, I think they got raided by the FBI. And yeah, and was like accused of, you know, sex trafficking and stuff like that. so it just kind of all went away. But yeah, man, that Texas Angels, man, that was a crazy era, man.
I was just gonna say, like, I was wondering if they before you said, I was gonna say, I wonder how they never got rated, because that definitely was just a straight up just basically like an Instagram brothel, basically.
Right.
Maybe they got away with it in the early years, because that was when Instagram first came out. It was like kind of wholesome. It was like people would just post, what they was eating for dinner and stuff like that. So I don't think the FBI was really hip on like what was really going on, with people, how they was using it. But yeah, that definitely was a wild time. Like people was they was like the first era of that was like, selling it or whatever, but making it look like they wasn't, or trying to make it look like they wasn't.
Right. BBLU.
BBLU, wow, that's crazy. Oh yeah. That was, bro. That was that was a phrase for a long time. Like that was just, bad bitches link up.
Oh, rest in peace to John Doe. What's her name?
Who?
Oh, I thought Jelani was gonna have me right there. But that ain't Aquila. That is that Aquila? I can't tell.
Oh, I saw. Okay, never mind. I just got what you said. Yeah,
That is Aquila. But
no.
yeah, John Doe. Is that our name, Jelani?
Yeah, we gotta be somewhat serious for a second though, because she was a OnlyFans star. She went to get she had I think they said she had like a second BBL or something like that. She had a BBL before. She got another one, but she ended up having like a blood clot in her. I think she said like her lung in her brain or something like that, and she died. But yeah, it's yeah, it's crazy. But she was bro, it's weird. Like I can't. Once one of them dies, like I can't do it, bro. Like I don't. Listen, man, I'm a sick individual in a lot of different ways, but I do have like a moral compass, bro. Like I can't. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's not. You have some dudes that it's just they don't care. Like they'll just. It could be whatever. Like once I find that out, I'm cool, dog.
No, facts. It's funny. Speaking of, like corn, I used to, cause all right, so I went and started looking up Taz's Angels and stuff like that. And then it reminded me of, have y'all ever seen on like, on the hub or whatever, Dancing Bear?
No.
Yeah, I was muted, but yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, it's a wild tackle.
Yeah, so it's, bro. So no lie, bro. When I was younger, I was you Dancing Bear, videos, and so Dancing Bear would be where it would be like a bunch of girls in a room, right, with like the male strippers, and then they all just like doing stuff with the dudes, So in my mind, I'm thinking this is real. It was like, it kind of like, I looked at it like, it's funny in hindsight, like how you think WWE is real. That's what I thought with this. And so I used to really think girls was in their bachelorette parties, just in turns, like with these strippers, just going crazy, And so it wasn't until like, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I'm gonna be real. It wasn't until like my early 20s, bro, that I didn't know that this wasn't real. I didn't know what girls did at a bachelorette party, because also my sister had went to a bachelorette party once, and then there was a video of a male stripper that she had, and it was like I think it was like on a computer or something like that, and I saw it and I was just like, what the hell, So that kind of, with what I saw in those videos, in my mind.
Okay, I've seen one of those before, but I didn't know the name of Dancing Bear.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, bro. So yeah, so up until like my early 20s, bro, I thought girls used to just go around taking turns giving like male strippers head, bro. And so yeah, like no cap, bro. Like, yeah, I was because that's what they did in the video. And then like, so I'm thinking like, yo, the bachelorette party be crazy. Like, I can't trust no girl going to no bachelorette party. Like, you know, I'm like, I don't know what the hell gonna go on. But yeah, bro. Then I realized, you know, yeah, it wasn't all that. That all the girl for porn stars or corn stars. And yeah.
What if you was at my bad,
DC on Fly Lady as well, you know what I'm saying? Miss Jackie O. I think it's I don't know, man. It's gonna continue being a thing as long as surgery is always a thing, and surgery is always gonna be a thing because people always feel a way about how they're perceived. So it's sad, but I like, how do you prevent it? I don't know if you can prevent it. It's the same thing as like what happened at Emory, right? At Emory, there was, you know, obviously the attack that just happened, right? Look at Dalen Gideon. And what happened with the attack? It was targeting the CDC, Jordan, professional dunkers in the building and everything like that. This is crazy. This is crazy. Look at the vibe. Oh, snap.
Yeah, it's taking me back a little bit right here.
Yeah. But yeah. I say all of this to say this. You know, I wanted to be like, dang, it's a tragedy. We got to do something to stop it. It's never going to stop because people are always going to feel a way about certain corporations and certain businesses. Like, people are always going to feel a way, especially in America, towards the healthcare system. People are always going to feel a way about this and this and that. So for me to be like, you know, and the person before that in New York, what we were talking about last episode with Mo being up there and leaving just in time, targeting the NFL, people are going to be mad at football because they have CTE, or a family member or loved one has CTE, and it ruined, you know what I'm saying, the rest of their lives. It's just there's no way around it. It's just a part of life that's going to continue to happen, and you just kind of have to accept that there are going to be, you know, isolated incidents like that every now and again.
Yes, there's definitely like a severe like mental health crisis, and I think it's going to get worse. Just you know, just in general, just because I don't want to like darken the episode up, but you know, it's a lot going on right now. So yeah, I don't, you know, as far as like the, you know, just a lot of stuff that's happening with the mental health issues, like I don't see it getting much better. And also, like, you know, we see how a lot of money being spent in this country with our current president. Like, that's not going to be something that they really want to invest in going forward, like mental health resources. So yeah, it's just hilarious that we're talking about this with somebody jerking. Like it's just the
That boy Rashad been locked into the videos, bro. He like, forget the pod.
I've been low key paying attention to him too. It's just fascinating because I ain't been inside MHS since we graduated. So like, I know it doesn't look like this anymore at all, but this is how I still imagine MHS in my head.
No facts.
It's just a nice trip down memory lane. But I mean, but the one with Dalen is funny to see because Dalen, like you can't get this man to two-step in public anymore. So to see him,
even some of the tough kids was jerking back then.
Yeah,
just dancing in general.
Exactly, it's different era.
Oh yeah, no, I think the kids still dance now, but they just do it for like TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah, but not like, I guess the cool kids wouldn't do it, right?
I don't even know. I mean, it's just fascinating because we was like, I'm just thinking, I was looking at the videos. It was saying like 15, 16 years ago. I was like, man, that's that. It don't seem like that long ago, but it was that long ago for sure.
Yeah, man, for sure.
We was also I was looking at the Powerade machine in the back. I feel like we was the last era of kids that had like unhealthy food in high school.
All right, so how y'all feel about that? Them taking food stamps, taking junk food off of food stamps. How'd y'all feel about that?
I don't know. I don't. For me, it's like I don't know. I just feel kind of weird to have the government kind of policing like if you are in dire needs of if you need food stamps, like it's kind of weird for me to have the government be like that particular about it, where you can get this. It even be weird to me when it's like you can go to a bodega and you can't get like you're not supposed to be able to get like hot food or stuff with it. Like it's really weird what they do and let you don't get with when it comes to like the EBT or the food stamps or whatever. So I guess they're trying to say like it's under the guise of being healthy or whatever, but it just feels kind of like they're just policing what people can do with their government assistance.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really thought too much about it. I ain't gonna hold you. I do feel it is. I mean, it's kind of crazy to police people and what they can get, but at the same time, I do feel people. I'm not completely against it because I do feel you can shop a lot healthier for just learning if you learn more of basic cooking skills. Cause I feel like a lot of people they just take the easy way out. And I understand, people be working and all that stuff, so they just don't really be wanting to. But I think realistically you do have options to eat healthier at the same price but they'll rather shortchange it. And I feel like with possibly making bigger meals and like meal prepping, things of that nature, just taking out the time to just do it, and then like you ain't got to worry about it for like the rest of the week. That's always an option. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily try to even incorporate that, like the better option, so but as I said, with the policing people on what they can and can't eat, not the biggest fan of that, just like in general. But I do feel at the same time, it's kind of like I don't know. That's why I say like I'm not completely against it because I do feel like people should be eating healthier options. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's wrong because even though as bad as healthy food might be and as many diseases and as much as it's held back people, especially like underprivileged communities and things of that sort, because it's cheaper to eat unhealthy. It's cheaper to live that way. While I see that on one end of like, okay, it's the health and this and that, you can't tell somebody what to do with their money, bro. Like or with the money that you're giving them to help them eat. It's almost like saying like it's a privilege to be able to have a candy bar. It's a privilege to have a bag of chips. It's a privilege to have some ice cream. Like, who are you to tell people that? Like, so since I'm poor, I can't eat dessert? Like that's crazy. That's literally what they're saying right now. And like I said, it might not be the best thing. 100%. All that stuff might be detrimental to your health, this and that. But for a lot of people at the same time, it's like sugar is addicting as some of the worst addictions in the world. So that's the first thing. You can't just take that away from them and be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I also think this is a way of soft launching, getting rid of sugars and junk food and all of these things in America in general, which is a whole nother conversation. But if that's the case, if this is their way of soft launching that for the rest of Americans, I also think that's sick that they're kind of like using poor people as lab rabbits or lab mouses or whatever, lab rats in this situation. It's like, okay, we're going to take it from the poor people first. And then we're going to take it from this. And before you know it, we're going to have no more junk food. You know what I'm saying? I think that's sick because, you're using poor people as an experiment and they're people. Like you're dehumanizing them with that. It's so much that I feel like is wrong with this because it's like if that's the case, then shoot, let's take out cigarettes out the stores. Let's take out beers out the store. Like, you know what I'm saying? If that's the case, if we so focus on health and things of that sort, let's do that. because for some people, that's the way that they cope. That's the way that they cope with the stress. That's the way they cope with all the bad stuff of the day. You know, some people have cigarettes, some people have weed, some people have beer, other people have sweets, a nice cake, some cookies, some ice cream. Like that's how they like get through the week. And for you to like take that away from poor people just because they're poor, I think is unfair. I think it's inhumane, and I think it's whack. Just to keep it a bean. And I said this earlier, and a lot of people have been hitting me up about it and stuff like that. Not, you know, people I know like texting me, but like the comment section, and they've been going crazy about it. And I'm just like, I don't think people would even know how I eat based off of how much I was defending this. Like, I don't even eat that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the exact opposite, but I'm all in favor of not policing people living how they want to live. Cause that's how they want to live, bro. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, it's just like you said, it's like a little like dehumanizing just to be like, you know, you already like it takes a certain level of if you need government assistance, like it takes a certain level of even like I don't want to say humbling yourself or like I don't know. It takes a certain level of like a blow to your pride just to even be in that position to where you need that. You know what I'm saying? So like to be in that position and be told, okay, these are the specific type of food that you can eat. It's just kind of weird to me. And you know, like I said, they're trying to disguise it as making the country healthier, but I just think it's more so of not wanting them to. It's like in the same vein of making people work for healthcare. Like you're not good enough just being a human being to deserve healthcare. You gotta have a job or something like that. Like it's I don't know. It's just people just I feel like across the globe, like governments treat poor people bad, you know.
It's inhumane for sure. Like I don't rock with that at all, bro. I don't rock with that at all. Because like once again, we're saying the same thing, but it's one thing to say this is unhealthy. It leads to high blood pressure, diabetes. Majority of the issues that we have in the Black community and Black and brown communities and lower income communities in general, their health issues are directly tied to the foods that they get. Well, why do they get those foods? Because they're cheaper than the other ones. And people are trying to tell me in the comments, a batch of bananas and apples are cheaper than Snickers and a soda. Who? When people comment this stuff, like, who do you think people are, bro? I'm a grown adult. I grocery shop on a weekly basis. Darn near every other day, I'm getting something from the grocery store. Got to get some water. I got to get this. Oh, I need some rice. I need some butter. I need this. So if when you grocery shop yourself and you see the prices yourself, how you gonna tell me it's not cheaper to eat more junk food? Everybody and their mama know it's more expensive to get a dang salad and a fruit salad and a prepare and all those things to do something within affordable price, quote unquote affordable. You would literally, like Mo said, have to meal prep. You would have to make a big old, little thing of spaghetti and put it in some containers for like 5 days. You would literally have to make you a big old salad and split it up for 5 days. You have to make you a big old thing of pasta, Alfredo, whatever the case might be. Put the little chicken, chop up the chicken and sprinkle it among the little container for 5. That takes, If you don't do that, the second most cost efficient way to get food is to get some junk food. Because junk food, you get a bag of chips, a thing of, a Snickers bar or something like that, and some other candy. Your appetite it spoils your appetite. That's why your mom say when you a kid, don't eat candy before dinner because you're going to spoil your appetite. If I eat an apple and a banana and drink some water, the water going to be the most filling part of that snack. I ain't going to feel nothing with that apple and banana in 2 seconds. So I don't know, bro. It's like people trying to intentionally miss the point just to continue to speak down and patronize poor people. I'm not with that because poor people are people too. And I'm always going to ride for the ratchet and the ghetto and the hoodlums and the people that other people look at as the scum of the earth, because at the end of the day, those are people, and a lot of those people who, folks on the outside would kind of throw away and not even look twice at, bat an eye at. Those are the people that I love. Those are people I've been related to. My cousins, my uncles, my aunties, what I'm saying, other family members and other loved ones. So if I won't, what I'm saying, look away from them, why would I look away from a stranger who's in the same predicament? And I don't know. It's just a lot of nasty classism things that happen within society that I'm not a fan of at all. And I don't think you can call yourself pro-black or for black people or something like that when you look at poor black people like that. I think that's contradictory, and yeah, all of the things, bro. I'm not with it.
I mean, I think definitely not looking down on people, but I do feel people can get more education on how to because it don't necessarily always have to be meal prep, but you can buy larger portions of the stuff. You can buy like beans, you can buy teaching people healthier habits. That's why I'm not with the full policing of where you can't get this, you can't get that. But I do feel like as a society, we do need to teach healthier habits. But it's harder with a lot of this stuff, even just being in America in general, and I think it goes to an America thing where even the healthier habits with all the antibiotics and all the different stuff and the hormones inside of things is still not truly healthy. And that's something that you realize as you travel. Because you taste food in different countries and whatnot, and just see what the cost of a lot of stuff is a lot cheaper, just because it grown a lot naturally, where people can just like there's local farms that can sell X, Y, and Z, as opposed to like in America, the government taking control of most of like a good majority of like the farms that for commercial farms, at least, where it's hard to just be able to buy just natural like items and stuff like that. So and everything's so mass produced and people could definitely benefit from learning healthier habits. But as I said, policing them on where they can't just obtain certain things in general, I don't think that's the way. But I mean, like, you could try and teach people. You could, it goes back to you could take a horse to water. You can't make a drink, So even with you trying to teach those healthier habits, it's all about, will people actually care and really want to learn and how to figure these things out, or are they just going to take the easy way out and just get a thing of Tostitos, and which I mean, those Tostitos and stuff do be hidden sometimes. So like, I get it and it's quick, but yeah, and I, as I said, like as a person who had to been in an area where me and all the people around me had a limited budget on the amount of money that we could spend. And it's like we all got the same amount of money, but just seeing the difference in how people use that money, And so being in that scenario, that's where like my mindset on it is a little bit different, because I was like, it'd be different if I was just like able to just spend freely as I have in the past, but having to have a limited amount of money and then being around people where you all have that same limited amount of money. But then, as I said, like that was always the thing of where people, they notice, they'll always be like, the way you eat it different than everybody else, but that's because like I'll take out the time to really do the research on things that I can, like, and really price out stuff, and like really plan ahead. And that's why I think that's in general, planning ahead, because a lot of people don't plan ahead before they really go to the grocery store. They kind of just, I know I need to go get something from the grocery store, I know, and these are the things that I like, so I don't really want to put too much thought into, like, I will plan out my meals throughout the week, I'm like, I know I want like this is probably what I'm gonna cook this Monday, and I can eat this Monday and Tuesday. I'm gonna cook this Wednesday, I can eat this Wednesday and Thursday. I cook this, X, Y, and Z, and that's how I would break it up each time. But as I said, a lot of people they don't think to plan ahead. So it's just you go in and grab whatever you see, and you don't really want to put too much thought into it, and so you kind of just go do whatever. It goes how it goes, So
Yeah, but the thing is, your people, they had the option. They had the free will. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
If you want to blow your money and be stupid with it, give them that freedom to. Like, these are grown adults. That's all I'm saying. It's like, I know it's wrong. Like you say, I think we all three of us understand it's wrong. The way that they're eating, and it's just, kind of shooting themselves in the foot. However, no pun intended, shout out LeVar Ball, prayers up LeVar Ball, no pun intended. But like, dang, bro, like you can't tell no grown person like you can't eat, because so-and-so who can't afford it, they can still eat that way. And that's just messed up to me. That's all I'm saying. It's like
facts. And that's why I say I agree. I don't think you should police people. I just think it should be more information or more guidance on how to use it, maybe like spend the money wiser,
I have a follow-up because we're in the last 10 minutes. Was Michelle Obama right?
I feel like in principle, yeah. I'm not mad at like I don't know. I'm not mad at the kids like trying to make them eat healthier. I think I'm not. I think she might have been right, but I can understand from a kid's perspective, like especially luckily that happened like right after we like literally like I mean maybe like a year after we graduated high school, like a year or two, where they started doing that. Because when we was in high school, we still had we had soda in the vending machines. You could buy the cookies at lunch. Like we definitely wasn't eating healthy back then. But yeah, I think that might be a good thing growing up, just to prevent like childhood obesity a little bit. And if when you get home you want to drink your Capri Suns and eat your Lunchables, or you can bring it to school, if your parents will do that for you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you say I think in principle, I think she was right. But quick side note, where can I get one of them large cookies that they used to sell at Jazz, bro? Those things,
bro. When Jelani mentioned them, I was like, bro, like I ain't gonna lie, that was also a sign of wealth. There was a few signs of wealth in high school. Getting a cookie every morning, oh yeah, you had money. Getting Chick-fil-A, if you got Chick-fil-A twice a week, I said, where you get all this money? Chick-fil-A ain't cheap.
facts.
Chick-fil-A $5, $6, $7.25 if you get in the full thing, and you get in that every Tuesday and Thursday when they come on campus. That's $15 a week.
We used to have white girls come to school with like Starbucks, all types of stuff. I'm like, bruh, my parents ain't got it like that. Like I might get, McDonald's a couple times a month before school at the most. You know what I'm saying? That'd be like a treat. Like, so I went to school where my mom works at for a year in middle school, and like every now and then, like maybe like once or twice a month, we stop at like a Chick-fil-A or a McDonald's before school. Bro, that'd be like Christmas, dog. Like I get my chicken biscuit before school. But yeah, no, we definitely had the kids. You remember our senior year? They had that's when they had the pizza restaurant that was in the courtyard.
Yeah,
like they I don't for the people wise, it wasn't literally a restaurant, but like there'd be like a pizza company out there with pizzas where you could buy them, and if you was getting those, you definitely was either your parents had money or you was getting money.
facts. Yeah, now I used to sell those sweet teas in the morning, bro. See, like I used to have consistent customers, bro. They would be the same people, cause them like that dollar a day, it adds up.
Oh yeah, especially if you getting other stuff like that's, you could easily be spending like $2 or $3 a day. We got like I think it's like 180 days in the school year or something like that. So you can do the math. That definitely could be a few $100s a school year.
Nah, facts.
Just looking at this picture got me emotional.
Yeah, them giant cookies, bro. You throw them guys in the microwave, man. That was the best, bro. Like, I don't think nothing beats that. I ain't gonna lie.
That's the only reason why I signed up for Chef Pratt's class. I forget what the official name was, but I was in there for 2 years just because we used to make food. Like that was it. Literally the only reason. And I remember it was one time when we because most of the time she let us keep some of the food when we make food for the football team. I remember it was one time for whatever reason we didn't get to keep the food, bro. We was salty. Like kids was pouting, folks was not wanting to talk to her. I was like, damn, bro. I got to eat anyway because I was on the team, but no, they definitely was. It was heated that day when we didn't get to get the food.
Right.
Yo, go ahead, Mo. Go ahead, Mo.
I was gonna say, bro, you want to hear how I got to be like to the person selling the sweet teas every morning, bro? So I had told her my sophomore year when I had got into the class, and one day, this is before, me and Chef Pratt, we had a very close relationship as the years went on, but that this is before we had any type of relationship for real, and just middle of class, I was like, I think I raised my hand, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, random question, how y'all make the sweet tea? Because it's not really that good. And she was just like, what? And I was just like, yeah, like, I really feel like the sweet tea could be better. And it was just so random. She was just like, I mean, if you think it could be better, then, how about, you come try and, you come help us make it better. So I was just like, bet, So I pulled up one morning and then, I tweaked the recipe a little bit, add a little more sugar. And then I was like, okay, this hit. And then I was like, she was like, all right, since you made it, you can be the one to sell it. And then that's how I just started selling them in the mornings. And yeah, every morning, I have I think 15 to 20. And yeah, that was my little hustle every morning. And then I get a free sweet tea. So that's why I stayed with it. I get the sweet tea every morning.
Bro, think about before we had this conversation, I never thought about this. Think about how many different items was getting sold at that school at any given time, bro. You had what was the name of the program that y'all were in?
You signed?
Y'all used to sell the chocolate bars. You had that.
They called me the candy man, bro, because I always had a bag of candy out.
Come on, yeah. Y'all was selling that. You had they were selling Chick-fil-A in the morning, the sweet teas, the pizza in the courtyard. Bro, think about Michelle Obama was definitely right, bro. Now I think about it,
the vending machine, getting the honey buns, bro, the $1 honey buns.
Then we go to lunch eating fried chicken and chocolate milk. Come on, dog. She did what she needed to do. I'm not mad at her. The more I think about it, she definitely was right.
No, bro. The meal would be a big old piece, like a big old chicken breast, fried chicken breast in the main meal part. And then it'd be mashed potatoes and then some bread, bro, a roll, and then the chocolate milk in the middle. None of that had any type of color variety. It was all brown, and then white for the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, we ain't get no sauce. We ain't get no. The regular lunches used to be kind of mid, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. We definitely didn't have the best school lunch. You had to go buy some food if you wanted a real respectable school lunch.
No, facts, bro.
I did that until I was a senior because I had a job.
Shout out to Chef Pratt. I remember we definitely had a rocky relationship at first, but by the time we got to the end of high school, that was I'd say one of my one or two favorite teachers from that time.
Yeah, yeah. Ginger was my homegirl, bro. We were definitely locked in. I used to go to. I took. It was American history, I think. And so the first test for some reason counted as 2 tests, and I got 100 on it. So I'll pretty much set for the rest of the year. So that pretty much 200, 100 on 2 tests. So that class, he used to not care what I did at all. So I used to literally just leave early, the class early, every time I had that class, and then I would just go to Ginger's class, and then just go there and just kick it with her. And that's where I used to, the one of the love of my lives, man, I ain't gonna say her name, but the one that Rashad was talking about, that I was just like, I was looking at her one time, I was just like, you're just so beautiful. But yeah, I used to go there and just used to just kick it with them every period, every time before during lunch, and then they were running the restaurant at the time, so I used to always just get free food from over there, and just be like just kicking it.
Yeah, I forget. What was I gonna say? What was the? I was gonna ask you. Was the teacher, your American history teacher, was it an old white dude?
Yeah.
I feel like I know who you're talking about because I remember he was super cool, bro. I remember one time if we talking about the same dude, like he used to, it'd be certain days where we didn't have like real work, so he would you're supposed to play like movies that have to do with history class. If you're gonna play a movie, he will play like Do the Right Thing, or I remember one time he had us watching like The Walking Dead, like random episodes. Like, bro did not care about his job at all.
No, fact, bro. There was this one teacher freshman year, bro. I know neither one of y'all had him, so y'all won't know him because Rashad was in IB, and you wasn't there yet. It was a dude. He was a former firefighter, bro, but his wife was rich, so he used to tell us all the time. He was like, "Bro, I don't need this job," and so. Buddy used to be the most out. He used to be roasting all types of stuff, just doing the craziest stuff, bro. Me and him slapboxed one day, bro. Like no cap. Me and him, cause we was like, I think I was like playing with somebody, and then he was like, "What y'all doing?" And then we was just joking. We slapboxed or whatever, and he was like, "I want to do it," and I was like, "I bet. What's up?" And so me and him slapbox, bro. This man caught me right on my nose, bro. And when you get hit in the nose, it make your eyes water, bro. He caught me on my nose, and then but he rushed me though, so it wasn't like it was like tactical. He rushed me, and then like what we was looking at in the video earlier, and and everybody they trying to get on me like, oh, you made him cry, blah blah. But he was a real one though. He was like, nah, I just end up hitting him in the nose. He ain't crying because of that, blah, blah, blah. He like defending me. I was like, appreciate it. But yeah, last day of school, bro, this man got into it with this girl. And I think it was like he got into it like crazy. And then Shorty, I can't remember, one of them was about to throw a chair at the other person. And I want to say it was the girl, but I think it might have been the teacher, bro. But I do remember that was his last day. And I do remember him saying, I don't need this job. He told us that throughout the whole year, bro. He was like, I don't need this job. Like, my wife is rich. Like, I can quit right now. And we'll be like, okay, And he's like, I'm just doing this for fun, for real. And so that last day, he just said he crashed out. He was like, what's up? Like, and they let him go.
He sound like Rochelle from Everybody Hates Chris.
Facts.
That's crazy.
But before we wrap up, too, I want to mention when I was working in Alabama and I was covering high school football over there, like one of the high school coaches, he told me how frustrated he was with how bad those kids were, and he was just like, we were sitting down in the weight room. I'm doing a story on summer workouts, because you don't have nothing else to report on in summer. And so I'm sitting there after I interview him, and I'm just sitting next to him, and he's like, yeah, I tell the kids all the time, I don't need a job. I'll go back to driving trucks anytime. And he really left and went back to being a truck driver because them kids were so bad at that school. And I didn't think he was really going to do it, but he did it, man. Them teachers don't be caring. Like, when they say they don't care, they really don't care. If they say it out loud, and they don't be bluffing.
No, facts. Yeah. Trust anybody who tell you that they don't need that job, because they really don't.
Teachers don't get paid enough for it. They gonna leave.
And then you had the male teachers that be like low-key hitting on that's a topic for another discussion.
Does that still happen in 2025, or was that just a thing when we were growing up?
I would assume it still does. I definitely. I feel like I see on TikTok.
I feel like it's more like frowned upon now. You know what I'm saying? Especially after Not Like Us.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it was ever necessarily like embraced though. You still had to be a creep
Yeah.
even back then. You know what I'm saying? Like it just would be. I didn't realize like it's just certain moments I look back on it like, oh no, he definitely was kind of like flirting with her a little bit. Like now that I think about it, moments from back then.
Y'all think the one football coach was flirting with the kids?
Yes.
That was the rumor that I heard. That was the rumor.
What you said, Jelani?
So that was the rumor that I heard, and it's crazy because I feel like we didn't even got to say a name. I feel like we all talking about the same person.
Bruh, I had my the 7th grade coach, bro. I'm not gonna say his name, but I can't even remember his name. No, it's the 8th grade coach. The 8th grade coach for Marietta Middle, bro. Football, bro. He used to show us news of his girl, bro. Like, yeah, like no cap, bro. Like I remember it was like after school one time, bro. He was showing us like titties and the girl like vagina and stuff. And like he was like, yeah, y'all probably ain't seen one since you came out. Bruh, no cap. I was just like, and it's like looking back on it, it's like, bro, we're 13, bro. You know, this is crazy.
That's CP.
Yeah, bro. Y'all remember that one teacher that got fired for accidentally seeing that girl nudes? Like he was like going through cause he used to just play too much.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. He took our phone and was like, "What you looking at? What you looking at?" And then like
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, I think it was. We could say it. I think his name was Mr. Sherman.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was Sherman. I couldn't remember his name, but now that you said it, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
It was like the white dude. He kind of looked like Michael Rappaport a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
What did he teach? Because he used to. But that like when I heard about it, if I was like, he played way too much. Like I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, he was too cool with us, bro. He definitely was one of those teachers that was a little bit too friendly with us, a little bit.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro. Yeah,
I was trying to find his first name.
You know, it's just crazy. You think back on like school and like little stuff that when you was a kid, you don't really. It was just kind of as it's all happening, it's just like there. But then now that you get older, it's just crazy, bro. Think about now that we're older, bro, and I be like, you know, you talk to a girl that's like a teacher, and it's just like, that's crazy. You a teacher,
right? Yeah,
because like the way you be acting outside of that school, bro, you know, like it be different. So it's like think back on. Because these teachers are real people too, you know. They be crazy. They be out here. Some of them with definitely probably thoughts, you know. Some of the teachers would definitely, you know, probably, you know, doing their thing. And, you know, it's like little stuff you'll pop, like peep, you know, like, oh, look, such and such look like they flirting all the time. I know, what's it called? Mr. That one coach. He used to play. I ain't gonna say his name, but he used to always flirt with in 8th grade. This one teacher named Miss Waters, bruh. Miss Waters, bruh. She came to school one time in like these white pants, and you could see like her thong underneath or something like that, bruh. Bruh, I remember everybody went crazy that day.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Hey, but shout out to that teacher though. Shout out to that coach. No, but he was a basketball coach. So, I wouldn't think. I'm thinking about because the coach I'm thinking about is a basketball coach.
The coach I'm thinking about, he coached on the high school football team too. He was one of our coaches. The coach I'm thinking about, he was like I think like the 8th grade basketball coach, and then I think he moved to the high school with us, and then I think he coached like I think freshman or JV. Yeah, see, the coach I'm talking about, he coached on the high school football team, but the rumor was he used to work at the high school, but for different reasons they decided to move to the middle school, but he was still coaching on the football team.
Yeah, the one I'm thinking about name start with an N.
So does mine.
Okay. He might have coached football. I don't remember. I
think he might have did both.
Coach and coach football. Yeah,
I think he did both.
Oh, okay. But shout out to him.
We definitely don't want to say that.
Yeah, okay. But because
shout out to him though. It's crazy.
No, for real. because he's the person who taught me how to tie a tie. Miss Waters had him come in one time in 8th grade and just had him teach the class how to tie a tie. So like to this day, that's the only person that ever taught me how to tie a tie. So that's how I know.
All right, he said, "All right, Miss Lexi, don't be walking around the hallway in them pants." I'm like, bro, she's 13,
bruh. I can't even imagine like some. Think about like a student like I'm not gonna say her name, but
Vaughn.
Yeah, exactly. Think about she probably. Come on, bro. Think about them teachers back then. I know at least one of them. Definitely trying to at least says something inappropriate for sure.
Bro, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. The first time I ever saw her, bro, I saw her at orientation, and I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Who is that?" And then I sat next to her first day of school in our literature class, bro. No cap, bro. I had to I just wanted to, like, what? Like, who the is this? I ain't never seen.
Because she didn't go to middle school. Like, Jelani, you had to understand from our standpoint, like anybody who didn't go to middle school with us at the high school, you like, dang, you kind of random. You came out of nowhere. So it's like for her to look like that and be new at our school coming out of nowhere. And she was like immediately like the most popular girl in the school as a freshman. And so it was just weird because
she was like, immediately the finest girl of the school. What you mean?
Like she was on homecoming court. I think she like, you know what I'm saying, was like about to win as a freshman. It was crazy.
Yeah,
she won the. She was like Kevin Durant, like when he won the scoring title at 21.
Yeah, when he won the scoring title, yeah, in his 4th season.
But she was definitely a young D Rose, bro.
That's crazy.
Nah, but without the injury.
I was about to say, you think she tore her ACL?
Nah. She I mean, if we being honest, she LeBron.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's just the greatness just never stopped.
You're 23.
Well, is that ACL tear like she got pregnant?
No.
Nah, because that ain't stopped nothing.
Hey, salute to her, man.
Like random last thing is me and her were never really that close, you know. But of course we knew each other, you know. And I remember I saw her at she used to work at Forever 21, and I saw her at the mall, and it was just so random. I was like, oh hey, and then like we were just chopping it up. And you know, after you leave high school, you know, I guess anybody that you went to high school with, y'all friends now. If you see them, yeah, it was just one of those moments where it was just like we was talking. I was like, I've never we had a class, we had a literature class together, but we never really talked. And then we had a Spanish class together. And then the Spanish class, like we was in a group, like we sat at the same table. And so we will talk a little bit then, cause like doing work and shit. But then like that was like the first time we ever really like chopped it up. Like we were talking for like cool 10 minutes. Like, yeah, so how you been? Like what you been up to? You know? It's just so random how when you graduate, everybody you see is like y'all friends now. You know, like, hey, I should have hit it with like, yeah, we should link.
No, she would have been like, you know, it's a curve when they offer the Instagram instead of the number.
Right.
Yeah, you can follow my Instagram. Like, oh, okay, I know what it is.
I said, I need your contact. Yeah, what's your Instagram?
Right. It's all good. Don't even worry about it.
Now she was at work, so you know, so she probably would have been like, "Oh yeah, so you ready to check out?" I would have been like, "Yeah,
exactly." Yeah. I can give you this discount code.
Yeah, crazy, but
no. All right, baby. All right, y'all. Another successful episode of the 1 a.m. podcast. Jelani Mo. Any last things where people can find y'all?
_ Jelani, JELANI, 2 underscores at the end on Twitter. You know what I mean? At 1.am. I mean, listen, I gotta memorize the at the.1a. It's late at night, man. Y'all know I've said the TikTok on here before, man. I'm a little bit discombobulated right now. So,
yo, random on TikTok, bro. I posted a TikTok of my I had sent it to Rashad. I posted a video, like I made a little video of my trip to New York, and bro, I woke up, it like went mini viral, very many, because you know viral on TikTok is like thousands, but I woke up, bro, like I only got like 15 followers. I posted at 3 a.m, got up at 9 and had like 800 views, like 70 something likes. I was like, what the heck? I saw it. I was like, it threw me off, bro. But but literally after, by the time I woke up and told Rashad about it, like all the hype pretty much died down.
Yeah, TikTok the easiest app probably to go viral on.
Bro, in fact, I didn't even put no hashtag. That's what really threw me off. It'd be like if I threw like hashtags or something on there, I thought I would have been like, oh, okay. But I was like, I didn't even know how people found it. I was like, what just happened? But and then it made random person who went to my page afterwards, Jermon Stevens.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is a name.
Why just say his whole government? But but yeah, super like Joanne. That's the kid we went to high school with, bro. He was in band.
I feel like I definitely remember the name. I just don't remember what they look like at all. But
yeah, Buddy was the first like flamboyant gay dude.
Oh, that's why I remember. Okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they used to come to school in heels. I remember in like 8th grade, he'll be doing like the Beyonce. Like we sat next to each other one time on the bus going to like a band competition, and bruh, like no cap, he was doing the whole Beyonce single lady dance, and I remember just sitting there like, oh my gosh, like, bruh, like come on,
bro. Jermon had a goatee though. He had a goatee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in high school, you got facial hair. You grown. This man had a goatee. He was like big too, bro. Like, bro, do push-ups, like lift weights and stuff. It was just funny, man. He was funny, and then he had waves too. Like he was like Hispanic or something. But that man, he was one of the funniest people I probably ever met, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yes, that's why I'd be nervous when I use TikTok because they'll show you like if you got you can turn it off, but if you ain't got the thing off where it when you click on other people's pages, it'll show you like so and so clicked on your page. I if they do that for Twitter, I'm done out here.
Oh, it's like LinkedIn.
Yeah, if you could turn it, so you got to turn it off though. So if you don't turn it off and you go on somebody else's page, it'll just you think you being low, just scrolling their profile.
Yo, so you could turn it off, bro. There's so many people pages I have not been to because of that.
Yeah, you can turn it off so that way. Now, when you turn it off, it's not going to show when somebody looks at your page. But if I wouldn't care, I don't want to know who looks at my page. So like, yeah.
Okay, yeah, bro. No cap, bro. There's so many people that I've seen. I wanted to go to their page and see what they be posting,
but you don't want that notification.
Yes, and I just thought, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna look for that later.
Yeah, I had to do it myself, bro, because it'll get you caught up out here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to. But so if I turn it off, but somebody else got it on, they still not gonna see that I went to their page.
Yeah, I believe so. I could be wrong. I want to.
Y'all need to try this out on each other just to make sure before you. Know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, pause. No, I'm joking.
Reach. No, I think the way it works is like if you turn it off, then they can't see when you view. But like if somebody else looks at yours, you won't be able to see when they look at yours either.
Okay, I mean that would make sense because that's how they do it on like Instagram when like see when people like when people are active and stuff. Like I turn mine off so people can't see when I'm active.
Instagram the real fast.
Huh?
I said Instagram the real fast. They got the location feature and all that now.
Yeah, bro. I was like, bro, like Snapchat been had that, but yeah, when I saw it but I turned mine off on on Snapchat too. I was like, boy, y'all not finna be tracking me. But when I saw Instagram did that, I was like, this ain't gonna last because ain't nobody finna do that. Like one, Instagram is too big. Like Snapchat, those are like your friends, Mm-hmm. Like, well, some people just add random people on Snapchat. That's their prerogative. But I feel like on Instagram, that's literally everybody. It's just random people. So yeah, I would never do that, bro. God.
No,
but it's crazy. But
I'm sharing my location on one of these group chats from the weekend, and this conversation just reminded me to stop sharing my location.
Oh yeah, right. My sister's got, well, it's a few people that, like, I got a few of my friends, we share each other locations. And bro, my sister got my location, and I guess, I don't know, I think she got my niece's location too. So I guess she probably be just periodically going to Find My app to like look there, or I don't know. But girls be doing that in general though. They'll just go and look and just see like where people are at.
Yeah.
I've had a couple girls do that, and just not even like girls I'm talking to, just like my homegirl. But I remember one time I was at the airport and my sister texted me talking about, where you going? Like, what? It was like 7 a.m. I was just like, bro, what? I had a girl one time ask me, she was like, because it was acting up, the location thing. And I said, yet again, not a girl I was talking to, but just a homegirl. She was like, why'd you stop sharing your location with me at 1 a.m? I was like, what? I was like, bro, trust me, I was not thinking about you at 1 a.m. to just be like, I'm gonna just turn my location off.
I come and slide by 8 p.m.
Yeah, your sister checking in is cool. Like that's just your sister being your sister. But like somebody random just asking you like about your location is crazy.
Yeah. But it's a few people that like I share my, like, most of my homeboys and then some of my homegirls that I'm real close with, they got my location. So I'm like, it's what it is. But I don't know if I would do it with my shorty though. I ain't gonna hold you, like, because I don't want you tracking me. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That's a combo for another day. If my location was shared in some of my past relationships, that would have been a whole different story. But I'm glad
There's been a lot of men caught up like that, especially in this era.
Boy, bro, many a nights I was at the studio.
I'm just sitting in the studio.
Man, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I ain't gonna lie. When I hear artists talk about that, it's so true, bro. Because that's just the easiest lie to get off. Like, yeah, like, man, this session running late, man. We just got into it. Like, somebody want to do a late night session. Are we still in here cooking up, man? We just found a new beat. It's up right now. And then next thing you know, it's like, we here till like 8. Or last question, but y'all ever blame like your homeboy and they have no clue that you blamed them on, like put them in like a lie? I guess I'm like the main one who was in like a long-term relationship where do that, because I didn't definitely. It's like a couple of my homeboys, I've been like, oh yeah, such and such crib, like, we lit right now. I don't want to drive home. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. And
now your girl mad at him. He ain't even did nothing.
Yeah, in fact, it's like well, every time you go to such house, you always end up getting too lit. It's like,
Me personally, as a loyal man, no, I've never been in the predicament mode.
Nah, I love that for you, bro. Hey, man, but those are. I feel like being able to talk about it now, because it's like during those days I was wilding, but now I'm like, I don't want to be like that no more, man.
Bro,
I'm trying to, but I blame it on my parents divorcing when I was 7.
It's the trauma.
That's why you can't trust nobody at these events, man. They all fake. But we appreciate y'all, man, so much. Another great episode in the books.
You can find me at RBMO __ and on Instagram, and then Monos _ RBMO _ and then Monos _ on X.
All right, and that's a wrap.
All right.
Chicks on your APs, looking like weeds. Haven't